Hello everyone, my name is Janessa Storley, owner of Frontier Designs. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm really excited because today we are going to talk about the barn house. So the barn house is our very first flip here in Williston. My husband and I did do a flip back in Spokane, so we know a little bit about that area and that market, but now we're flipping over here in Williston. We had to end up moving back from Spokane over here because my husband's company was really taking off again. So we made the decision to move back here and keep our real estate investing adventures going on here in this market instead of in Spokane. So let's dive into the barn house. So forgive me, I didn't take a lot of videos towards the beginning of purchasing this property. We purchased the property back in, I think we closed on it end of August, beginning of September is when we closed on it. And you know, did the inspection and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Today I really want to talk to you guys about how we located the property and how we found it. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that and that process. In our last video, I kind of explained what house flippers need to understand. And one of those things, you guys, is locating properties. So I'm going to kind of dive in on ways that I like to find properties. So one of the very first ways that you can find properties is through a real estate agent. I am a licensed real estate agent here in North Dakota, so I have access to the MLS and I can find whatever information I want. I'm not saying that if you are looking to be a house flipper, you need to be a licensed real estate agent, but I do suggest that you find somebody that you enjoy working with. I know before I had my license, we were touring houses with a real estate agent here in town, and we were looking at, you know, the worst of the worst, the cheapest houses. And for most of them that are on the market, they're overpriced and they need hundreds of thousands of dollars of work. So a lot of people because if you're in a higher market, kind of like we are in North Dakota, a lot of people think that they can get a giant amount of money for a house that needs $200,000 worth of work. And a lot of these properties were 2-1s, which realistically, you really want to look for a property that's like a 3-1 where you can add a bathroom and that kind of stuff, because that's what families are looking for. They aren't necessarily looking for smaller properties in a market. 2-1s and 1-1s, they just sit on the market most of the time. So we toured and we found a whole bunch of different properties and none of them really hit the mark. Some of them I think would have looked great and we could have done something with, but I mean for half of the price. And so you can put in an offer and lowball, and you know, sometimes sellers are like, yes, take it off my hands, and a lot of the times they're like, no. So we did the on-market properties, and to be honest with you, that's probably not the best way to find houses to flip. You can find them, they're still out there, but it's not the most effective way. So with touring houses and stuff, I was always looking at the market. I was always sending stuff to my real estate agent to look at so we could gain access into the property and that kind of stuff. And within Zillow, I don't think you can do this on Realtor.com. So I use Zillow primarily. And now you have to be careful with Zillow because a lot of the times it can be extremely outdated. But the nice part about Zillow is that they will have all of the auctions and foreclosures on there. So what I did, and I'll give you the instructions on how you find them in Zillow. So you go to the Zillow app on your phone, you pull that up, and then the next thing that you want to do is up at the top, there's something that says for sale. So you go to for sale, and then it has list types. It has for sale, for rent, recently sold. And then from there, what you want to do is you will, underneath for sale, there's going to be a drop down button. And in there, you're going to see all of the houses that you can search for and different things that you can search for. So you can search for by agent, by owner, new construction, blah, blah, blah. So what I would do is all I would do is hit foreclosure, coming soon, auctions, foreclose, pre-foreclosure, and hit done. Get rid of all of the by agents, by owners, new construction, all of that. Sometimes you can look in the by owner, but again, the reason why they're trying to sell it on their own is because they know what they're doing, or they have talked to real estate agents and they aren't happy with what they think that they can get for their property. So anyways, just go foreclosure, coming soon, auctions, foreclosed, and pre-foreclosure. And it'll show you all of them in the area that has that going on for them. And after that, I would look through the properties. Now in Williston, there's normally like 5 or 6 that you can take a peek at. Some of them are already foreclosed on and have a set price. And the properties that are foreclosed on, I will warn you that banks will want to get what that price is. They normally don't take anything lower than what they're asking. But when it comes to an auction, now that's where you can get a little bit creative. So what we did, we found this property. The auction was coming up on auction.com. We planned for it. On auction sites, there's going to be a reserve number. And the reserve number is kind of like what I was saying about the asking price for the properties through the bank. The reserve number is that the bank will not take anything less than that reserve. So you have to meet it. And so I think the auction went for a day, I think is how long it did. And so what we did is at the beginning, we put in a bid amount of like $5,000 or something. We just threw that out there. And then after that, we waited until about half hour before the auction ended to see where it was at. It was nowhere close to reserve, but we knew we needed to get the house. So we hit the reserve amount, I think like 3 minutes before the auction ended. And then nobody bid up after that. It was, myself and my husband, and then my brother was there. We were all sitting there and we're all like anticipating like a bidding war and that like, it's some eBay thing and we're all excited at the end. None of that happened. That was just, I guess it doesn't work that way. Maybe in more competitive markets it does, but not here. So we ended up purchasing that property there at reserve price. And so a lot of the times on auctions, you have to purchase in cash. And so thankfully we have cash reserves that we can use to purchase our properties. But for those that don't, just know that, you can pull a line of credit from your bank. Make sure you have those funding things put in place ahead of time, because I know that on auction.com, they did accept lines of credits and that kind of stuff through banks. So as long as you have all of your ducks in a row, you can still purchase stuff on auction. You don't always have to buy things right in cash right at that time. So anyways, that is how we purchased the barn house and how we searched for it. So, like I said, that is what works best for me when it comes to searching for properties. There's other ways that you can do it. You can drive for dollars, which is driving around looking for houses that look extremely run down and need a lot of work. So you can look for those properties and send out mailers to the owners. It's a process called wholesaling. Talk to real estate agents. You can talk to a wholesaler. There's so many different ways and avenues. This is just what I found worked best for me. And at the time of purchasing the barn house, I was not a licensed real estate agent at the time. I was working towards it, but I wasn't. And so even then, I was still able to find the property in other avenues besides just working directly with a real estate agent. So that's always a great tip for you guys, is just knowing that you have so much information at your fingertips. You have the auction websites, you have the Zillow, Realtor.com, all of those that are just free apps that you guys can use to find properties. So that is how we located the barn house. I'm going to be diving in more on the barn house, but I just kind of wanted to share with you guys how we purchased it and how we came across it and how we located the property. So I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful, and I do hope that you guys stay tuned for all of our other videos. This channel is all going to be focused in on real estate investing and talking about our current houses that we are flipping at the time. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.